author of speculative and genre fiction that often focuses on Jewish elements. His work has spanned extreme horror, urban fantasy, science fiction, cosmic horror, epic verse, and he has even written a guide for mindful meditation. Beyond his writing career, John is the publishing editor of Madness Heart Press, focused on transgressive and experimental horror, the Jewish speculative fiction press, A Gotta Try It, and the game company Madness Heart Games. Take it over, John.
Hello, everyone. So there is a phrase common in Judaism that I love. Rabbi said you should keep a piece of paper in your hands, in your pocket rather. One side of the piece of paper says, I am but dust, and the other side of the piece of paper says, this world was made for me. And it's a practice in both humility and understanding your worth, but perhaps more than understanding your earth, understanding the importance of your presence in this world. Now, there are people who might argue or speak to that, meaning that because the world is made for us, we can use it, that animals are for eating, trees are for, shelter. However, there is another way to look at this, and I am watching the time, Josh, I promise. In Kabbalistic Judaism and mysticism and occultism, when the universe is created, Hashem, God, shrunk to make room for creation. And it's worth mentioning that in non-dual Judaism, everything is God. And so God shrunk God's self in order for God to create more God. That would be the universe that is also God, and us that are also God. Yeah, levels. Those levels are, of course, the Sephirot. I say all that to say, part of that story is that when God constricted to create the universe, it shattered the world. Broken pieces of light, of divinity. Imagine a glass being stepped on at a wedding. It's broken, and there's a lot of reasons we do that, partially to scare off Shadim, partially to remember that in all things, even the most joyous things, there is also sadness and destruction, but also to mirror the creation of the world, right? When you're getting married, in theory, you're creating a new world for yourself and your family, and you shatter a thing. So the world is broken. There's a shattering that has happened. And what this means, why this has happened, is because it is our duty to put it back together. How do we put it back together? We put it back together, simply stated, through acts of loving kindness. Now, we often consider this to be things like tzedakah, or giving charity, being kind to people, meal trains, things like this, things that are kind to our fellow humans. However, in one fairly famous story, there was a rabbi, and two of his students ran in and said, Rabbi, the Moshiach has come, the Messiah is here. And the rabbi looked out the window and saw two dogs fighting over a bone and said, nope, absolutely not. There's still fighting, because the animals were fighting, and therefore the Moshiach could not have come yet. What this tells us is that it is not just human harmony that matters. It is natural harmony as well. Tikkun olam, which is a explicit command, right? We are meant to heal the world. Does not just mean healing people, does not just mean healing relationships, but it means creating a world that is the world to come. The world to come, paradise, is something we create. And in order to do that, we have to include the natural world as well. We have to make the world we live on, Musk, something worth living in, something that is full of harmony, something that supports nature, supports us. And, anyone my age or younger has sung the circle of life. And part of the circle of life is the natural order of things that has to be maintained. I was told I was condemned to only 5 minutes, so I will finish with this. Another famous Jewish saying is that regarding tikkun olam, you are not responsible for finishing the work, but you are obligated to take part in it.